Uses of regression analysis. Regression analysis is a powerful statistical tool used in various fields to understand relationships between variables. Here's how regression analysis is used in three key areas: prediction, estimation, and forecasting. 1. Prediction. Prediction involves using the relationship between independent and dependent variables to forecast the value of the dependent variable. Regression models help estimate the expected value of one variable based on the known value of another. This is particularly useful in situations where future outcomes are uncertain but can be estimated based on existing data. Example in education. Student performance. If a school has data on how many hours students studied and their corresponding test scores, regression analysis can be used to predict future test scores based on study hours. For instance, if a student plans to study for 5 hours, the model can predict their expected score. Example in business. Sales prediction. A company might use regression analysis to predict future sales based on variables like advertising spending, product price, and seasonality. By inputting current data into the regression model, businesses can make informed predictions about how sales might change. 2. Estimation. Estimation involves calculating the value of an unknown parameter based on sample data. In regression analysis, this means estimating the strength or magnitude of the relationship between independent and dependent variables. The coefficients in a regression model estimate how much the dependent variable will change when the independent variable changes. Example in education. Estimating teaching effectiveness. Regression can be used to estimate how much student test scores are likely to improve when teachers implement specific strategies, such as personalized learning or technology integration. The model will estimate the strength of the relationship between teaching strategies and student outcomes. Example in business. Estimating profit impact. A company may use regression analysis to estimate how much profit is influenced by factors like production costs, customer satisfaction, or market competition. These estimates help guide business decisions to maximize profits. 3. Forecasting. Forecasting is the use of regression analysis to make predictions about future values based on historical data. It's about looking at patterns in the data and using those patterns to forecast what will happen next. This is especially valuable for planning purposes, allowing businesses or educational institutions to anticipate needs and allocate resources effectively. Example in education. Graduation rates. Schools can use regression analysis to forecast future graduation rates based on historical data of student performance, attendance, and socioeconomic factors. This helps administrators plan for necessary interventions to improve retention. Example in business. Revenue forecasting. Companies use regression models to forecast future revenue based on past sales data and economic factors. This helps with budgeting, resource allocation, and strategic planning. Summary of uses. Prediction is about estimating a future value based on known information. Estimation helps in understanding the strength of relationships between variables and how they influence each other. Forecasting takes past data patterns to project what will happen in the future, guiding long-term decisions and planning. In educational management, regression analysis can be used for predicting student outcomes, estimating the effects of interventions, and forecasting trends like graduation rates. It enables school leaders to make data-driven decisions that improve both student success and institutional efficiency. The regression line, also known as the least squares regression line, is a straight line that best fits or approximates the relationship between two variables in a scatter plot. This line is the outcome of regression analysis and is used to predict the value of one variable based on the value of another. The primary goal of the regression line is to minimize the distance, or error, between the actual data points and the line itself. Key features of the regression line. Best fit line. The regression line is called the best fit line because it minimizes the sum of the squared differences between the observed data points and the predicted points on the line. This is done using the least squares method. The smaller the error between the line and the data points, the better the regression line represents the data. Minimizing error. The line is drawn such that the sum of squared vertical distances, errors, between each data point and the line is as small as possible. This helps ensure that the line provides the best possible approximation of the data. Positive and negative slope. A positive slope means that as the independent variable, x, increases, the dependent variable, y, also increases. A negative slope means that as x increases, y decreases. Interpretation: the regression line represents the best estimate of the dependent variable, y, for any given value of the independent variable, x. It's a way of modeling the relationship between two variables, making it easier to understand how changes in one variable influence the other. For every hour a student studies, x, their score, y, is expected to increase by 5 points. A student who doesn't study, x equals 0, would likely have a score of 40. Applications in educational management. In the context of educational management, regression lines can be used in various ways. Predicting student performance. A regression line can be used to predict future test scores based on study hours, participation in class activities, or other variables. Assessing the effectiveness of interventions. For example, educational leaders might use regression analysis to determine the effect of teaching methods or interventions on student achievement. Resource allocation. By analyzing factors like class size, teaching hours, and student engagement, school administrators can use regression lines to allocate resources more effectively, ensuring that the most influential factors are addressed. In summary, the regression line offers a simple yet powerful tool for understanding relationships between variables, making it a critical tool for decision-making in educational management.